All right, so we got some very bizarre and strange news about the First Descendant versus another live service game. This is pretty wild, and we got to take a look at this one. Plus, we're going to be talking about a fan-made farming tool, which is absolutely insane. If you want to be able to farm for ultimate characters or even your favorite weapon, this tool is going to be extremely useful. By far, one of the best robust tools I have ever seen. Also, yeah, we're going to be talking about it's usually the stupidest things that make players quit. We're going to talk about what that is for the First Descendant, and this needs a major overhaul and much more. So I say we start out with this very strange news here. Check it out. It says this: the First Descendant has worse review scores than the Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. But it's so strange because if you head on over here and you go ahead and take a look at Steam DB right here, of course, we have the First Descendant sitting at 61,000 players and 54% total upvotes on the game. So yeah, that's a pretty average rating, of course, but the player base is going very strong. You know, I'm making this video late at night, and it goes to show how many players are active currently in the game. But if you head over to Suicide Squad, despite the review scores nearly being 70%, only 94 players are in the game right now. That is wild to me, to see how much of a failure Suicide Squad actually has been, but also to see how much of an audience the First Descendant has been able to capture despite, you know, some of the negative review scores. And I have noticed that the review scores for the First Descendant have been going slightly up over time. We'll see what they end up being in a year. You guys remember Cyberpunk had like very negative review scores, and now it's like leaning mostly positive. So things can definitely change for the First Descendant in that regard. We shall see. So my big question is, after all of your time in the First Descendant, getting into the end game, what do you guys rate the First Descendant out of a 10? Sound off in the comments down below. But yeah, I did want to showcase this right here. This is an extremely cool tool that you can utilize to basically easily farm for your favorite weapon. If you want to go in and farm for, let's say, Ultimate Viesa, you can see what is required here, expand it. It'll tell you the area, your probability, you know, all of the requirements. It is extremely detailed and impressive. By far, one of the most robust tools I have seen. I'm going to throw that in the description below as a link for you also if you just want to have that on your phone while you're playing, or, you know, if you're on the console, you can have it on your computer, whatever. It's going to be super handy for you. Now, this was an interesting read right here. It says, it's usually the stupid things that make me stop playing. Strong words, as the First Descendant comes under fire for dumb mechanic that makes 0 sense. So what is this mechanic that is driving players nuts? It's this one right here. Stop taking my ammo when I travel. And it goes on to read, it's usually the stupid things that make me stop playing a game. And right now, the top of my stupid things list is reaching my destination and seeing my ammo all gone. Why the F am I wasting mod space to maximize my ammo all on my gun to see it disappear every time I travel to a destination that I'm going to go shoot things? And some responses here. I 100% agree. In addition to this, the support drones should refill your ammo to the max every single time. And someone noted most times it won't supply me anything at all, and some are bugged. So yeah, that's something that'll probably work on for sure. But yeah, this is definitely an issue, and we'll see if Nexon actually addresses this sort of thing going forward. I imagine they will get on it. Now, also, someone did say this as well, and the community overall agrees. It says, experience needs a real rework. It says, I'm not sure if it's just me, but leveling in the game feels like such a chore. All the experience farms, all you do is basically stand in the one spot for an hour or so, go from 1 to 40, catalyst, and then do it over and over again. Leveling like this feels so inefficient. Like, look at the bunny cave. Unless you're a bunny or Sharon, you don't get much out of it besides experience. For the electric types, it's fine because they're getting the shards. Just doing the same thing over and over for experience is starting to drain me. I would love to be able to do missions for the Emma Forest materials and still be able to gain a reasonable amount of experience, making leveling much more efficient. Grinding for the materials you want, need, and leveling at a decent rate at the same time. 600 upvotes. In other words, there needs to be variety for basically leveling up, for experience, for that sort of thing. Now it says, I think each catalyst should add a 20% experience boost to that character. Leveling a new character is okay because you learn it, but 5 to 10 times becomes boring fast. So yeah, we've seen this time and time again in games that the leveling system just becomes a chore and very, very boring. But I have seen comments of people saying, stop complaining. It is extremely easy to level a character. There are some cases where you can level a character in just an hour, but a lot of those players are also doing the same monotonous thing over and over again to basically exploit that process. And it seems like people want more fun over, extremely fast leveling. You want to be entertained through the leveling process, I think. I think that's one of the most important things. All right, so we have this one as well. Nexon permabanned 600 players. I kid you not. And yeah, I myself, I haven't noticed much in the way of cheating or someone that seems to have like crazy infinite ammo or something like that. So that goes to show that Nexon is really staying on top of this. They want the community to be healthy in terms of no hackers and for players to just be able to enjoy playing the game without worrying about someone coming in and disrupting it. Now, also, we have this as well. It says enemy mob 100% accuracy and bullet tracking is the only downside to the game. It says this is not opposed to complain about the game. Quite the opposite. This game is amazing. And for free to play, I think it really sets a new bar of what games should be in 2024. The only thing that I have had kind of tilt me in 100 hours of gameplay is bullet tracking from enemy fire. Feels like if you peek your head around a corner for half a second, you just die sometimes. But on the contrary, if you try to play this game cover to cover at times, you just can't, because if you run sideways, you can literally watch the incoming fire bend to keep flying right to you. That is really my only gripe with this game, other than that it's absolutely fantastic in my opinion. A lot of people agree. And we have this. What annoys me more is when you lag for 0.1 seconds and the game says F your positioning and the ability you just tried to use is now on cooldown, even though it didn't go off. A lot of people are experiencing that one as well, or getting a slight bump from an enemy, not even a whole knockdown, and you lost focus because your cast animation just happens to take 3 business days. Yeah. But back to the original post here about the bullet tracking. I think that this is more of an in-game thing for sure. As players head into that in-game and they get into those tougher bosses, especially those bosses, it gets so infuriating. It seems like the developers also want you to up your resistances as much as possible. And they're like, hey, you're going to take this hit no matter what. And it also ties into the fact that I think they want people to pay for the module space. So they want you to push the resistance as far as possible. And then you run into problems with module space. And yeah, I think that's possibly one of the reasons why the tracking is so intense. And that's just a theory, of course, but they need to really tone this back in the future. But anyway, you know what time it is. It is time for your top comments. Remember, I love reading over your comments, so be sure to throw them down in the description below. It could end up right here in a future video. All right, so let's do this. We have this one right here. Also, the ultimate skin should be able to be colored. I don't see why you can't recolor the ultimate base skins. That's wild. That to me is just so strange, considering that, yeah, there's a high cost around those as well. Unless, of course, you grind for free, but still, that's so strange. And also, it says, I hope in anime they show bad drop rates when heroes try to find their favorite weapon or reactor, first and foremost. I know there's, like, divisive comments down below. I hope to get to him, by the way. But some of you think that an anime would be cool. Some of you think it would not be cool. I think it still would really, really work. And to reply to this post here, remember Cyberpunk Edge Runners? They actually had some hilarious Easter eggs making fun of some of the weird oddities in Cyberpunk 2077. So yeah, they could actually do this. And I think players would actually find it absolutely hilarious if they added something like that, like a little Easter egg to the drop rates in a funny way in a First Descendant anime. I think it could actually work. Yeah, but we have this one right here about the anime. It says, a First Descendant anime could be an amazing addition to the franchise if they get good writers and animators, hopefully putting the devs in a position where they have to fill out the details of the story for the anime will lead them to improving the quality of the in-game story. Yeah, there's some complaints about the story again, and then some people say, hey, the story's not that bad, but the thing is, we're dealing with a free-to-play game, and I imagine that it's going to be a little bit challenging developing a story in that environment, But an anime really opens them up just to focus in on that sort of thing, and that's why I say, hey, an anime would be a great companion piece to the First Descendant. I think at the very least, they have extremely likable characters, people love these characters and really flesh out their individual stories in more meaningful ways with an anime. That'd be very, very cool. All right, so I think I missed some comments here. It says, I feel like a good take for using the stabilizer would be that using it would make the drop rate for the 2 most common drops to be 0%. The stabilizer is a rare item, and using it should give you rare drops. 100% agree on that one. Now, double jump problem drives me crazy. It has been driving me crazy lately. It seems like it's in the one area. I'm blanking the name. Is it White Gulch? Maybe I'm wrong. But it just seems to be a problem in one of the regions more so than the other regions. I don't know what is up. But when you're doing those platforming missions, at first, it is such a pain to have that as a problem. All right, let's read one more. We have this one right here. In my opinion, the only thing that needs to be resolved is the lack of build diversity in the game. Is this: make the transcendent mods grant plus 16 capacity when fully leveled, double if a catalyst is used. That change alone will enable us to leave 2 general slots open per loadout. Read more. Edit. I suppose it would have been productive to also mention right away that in addition to this change suggested above, I also do want the discussed changes to how polarities applied to loadouts 1 and 3 to be implemented in a player-friendly way, minimizing the need for spending more catalysts to repolarize slots. Yeah, right now, with this new update that's coming up, 107, with those changes, it seems like it's going to be more of a band-aid. So I think that they will be looking into these type of comments and feedback and maybe making adjustments with every single update. We'll see what happens. It's definitely a work in progress, this game. But, each step forward, it feels like true step forward so far. It doesn't feel like they're taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back, which is great to see finally with the game like this. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Love all the comments. Keep them rolling in. I will definitely look through them and highlight them in the next video, so look out for that. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take care.